Hey, greetings everybody, and welcome to La Hooking. I will be your, it's hard not to make a joke about this, but I will be your La Hooker tonight, hooking the La. Um, so for those who are new, so this is a ritual practice that is um, done in order to kind of bring back, i.e. rehook, uh, any kind of lost life force. And this could be anything like, so maybe I'll give some examples. When, for example, like our schedules and life gets super busy and we just feel like we're losing energy. This is pretty common. You know, our we live in a very kind of unhealthy relationship to time, uh, and an unhealthy relationship to energy, an unhealthy relationship to speediness, an unhealthy relationship to the environment, an unhealthy relationship to role function, to job performance. And then this, of course, translates into like unhealthy relationships to dharma performance and things like this. And this just causes us to lose energy, to lose focus, and then of course to potentially lose life force, causing illness, but then also uh, ultimately leading to possibly even a premature death. And so this practice is really about kind of bringing everything back, sometimes a little forcefully, sometimes in a way that's magnetizing, sometimes a way that is kind and loving, and the implementation of a wide variety of activities, like a wrathful activity, a subjugating activity, a magnetizing activity, and an enriching activity. These are all very healthy things to have relationship to, because I mean, I think we could all say here that just that sometimes we need a little bit of nudge, right? A little bit of a push. We need a forceful gathering. So anyway, this ritual is aimed at kind of covering all of those bases, and also kind of restoring our relationship to the elements as well. It could be said, perhaps, that also within, at the very least, American culture, we have very little capacity to understand our relationship to the five elements, right? So earth, water, air, fire, and space, right? And so this is also about kind of bringing that back. And what all this is most about, though, is harmony and flow. And so, we're bringing all of this back so that there can be harmony in our bodies, harmony in our lives, etc. So I wanted to share that, although it doesn't seem like that there are many people here who are new, but that was my whole spiel. Thank you for putting up with it. But it does kind of, fill in fill in some of the gaps. It's better to have more information than no information, when we go into these things. And again, unfortunately, perhaps in Dharma settings, people will show up to things with no information and be in a mode of receiving, which is not bad, but it's also really good to kind of like know what we're doing. So that's why I wanted to share that. So if you like, this is an entirely receiving oriented practice. So you can turn off your camera if you like. You can lay down if you like. L is like right on the money. Exactly. So just get as comfortable as you want, right? This is about you connecting to the recovery, the restoration, the reclamation of all the things that you need, right? Um, and in my little snarky way, I'll just say that all of you look great anyway, and I know that. So you can give yourselves the benefit of just chilling out and relaxing. So I will share the text on the screen, though, if that's helpful. And so we will begin with get rid of this, with just a very basic refuge and bodhicitta. And what you'll see here is you see the 5 elements listed, right? So maybe I'll just start with this first. There's the element of fire, which is associated with lotus or Pema dakini. And the direction is the west and northwest. And this kind of mode or form of activity that the Pema dakini or lotus dakini is known for is controlling. And this is not, controlling in a domineering way. This is controlling in the forceful guidance form of controlling, right? Sometimes we need this. And then the wind element is green, and this is the action dakini, or often called the karma dakini, as the direction of north and northeast. And this is, the karma dakini, karma here, is action and activity based. And so this is really opening up to the energy of destroying, right? Subjugating. And this is important sometimes, right? As is said, not only in classic rock songs, but also in the Bible, right? There's a time for everything. And sometimes there's a time for this kind of activity. And then water is white, and this is the Vajra dakini, located in the east and southeast, and this is pacifying. And then space, the Buddha dakini in the center, and this blue. Sometimes in some systems, the Buddha dakini is white and the Vajra dakini is blue. But any kind of discrepancies that arise sometimes with these systems are not, we don't need to make a big deal out of them. And then earth is yellow, here listed as the jewel dakini, which would be the Ratna dakini. This is the south and southwest. And the energy of the Ratna dakini, or earth, is increasing. The water is pacifying, wind is destroying or subjugating, and fire is controlling, etc. Controlling, guiding, this kind of thing. So anyway, we'll begin with refuge and bodhicitta. So, and we'll just do this in English. The Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, until enlightenment, I take refuge in you. Through our merit of generosity and so on, may we attain Buddhahood for the good of all sentient beings. Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, until enlightenment, we take refuge in you. Through our merit of generosity and so on, may we attain Buddhahood for the good of all sentient beings. Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, until enlightenment, we take refuge in you. Through our merit of generosity and so on, may we attain Buddhahood for the good of all sentient beings. And so, we have this image here of Hayagriva. Hayagriva is red, right? We could say a wrathful Buddha, and holds a curved knife in their right hand, right in this nectar vase in their left hand. And they're in union with a form of Vajra, who is a little different in presentation than we often see for Vajra here. She's blue, she's often red. And she has in her right hand this datar arrow, so an arrow that has 5 colored silks, and a melang, a little mirror. In these silks, the datar arrow, the 5 silks, or the 4 silks represent, the 5 silks represent the 5 elements. And she likewise also has a nectar vase in her left hand. And so, if you like, you can visualize either yourself in the form of either Hayagriva or Vajrabrahi, or you could visualize their presence or have a felt sense of their presence in the space where you are. Right? And so the main point here is opening up to these 2 Buddhas, right, who have made a commitment to be here for all of us in this way. Right? To be able to, in this particular case, especially to hook back the life force. And so I'm going to recite this mantra 3 times. And this is this mantra associated with both of them. And as I do, imagine that this mantra magnetizes their energy, right? So in one particular way, with respect to this ritual, you can, feel into the fact that the mantra kind of helps seal their presence. So visualizing them or having this felt sense of them being in the space with us, and then really making it localized to where you are, right? Authentic and embodied. This is a key piece here. And so the mantra is Om Ahum Bazar Maha Guru Sarva Guna Siddhi Hum Om Ahum Svaha Mum Lam Mam Pam Tam Shri Maha Rini Sa Sita Ring Ring Sarva Siddhi Samaya Za Hum Bam Ho Bazar Ayushe Hum Grum Ri Za Om Ahum Basar Maha Guru Sarva Guna Siddhi Hum Om Ahum Svaha Mum Lam Mam Pam Tam Ri Mahari Nisa Sita Ring Ring Sarva Siddhi Samaya Za Hum Bam Ho Basar Ayushe Rum Brum Ri Za. And with this last one, imagine that as I recite this mantra, that their energy comes, their power comes. As you see from the image, Hayagriva and Vajra are powerful. They're surrounded by flames, right? And the flames denote power, this ability to cut through obstacles. So imagine that as I say this mantra one last time, this sense of deep compassionate power through these beings shows up into the space where you are. Om Ahum Basa Guru Sarva Guna Siddhi Hum Om Ahum Svaha Mum Lam Mam Pam Cham Shri Mahari Nisa Sita Ring Ring Sarva Siddhi Samaya Za Hum Bam Ho Bazar Ayushe Hum Brum Ri Za. And then imagine that from this either felt sense or visualized sense of either yourself as either Hayagriva or Vajravarahi, or the felt sense of this strong presence being here, from the hearts of these deities, these supreme emanated messengers, of indefinite color, ornamented in silks and jewels, all of these beings begin to come holding lifespan hooking hooks, longevity vases, and arrows tied with these silk ribbons. Right? And they pervade everywhere. Right? And they're emanating from Hayagriva and from Vajravarahi. They're filling the space where you are, pervading everywhere, in every cardinal and intercardinal direction, above and below. Right? So to the north, the east, the south, the west, the intercardinal directions, and directly above and directly below. So it's as if there's this sphere of protection, the sphere of these beings around you who are showing up to hook back lifespan, to return longevity, right, to bring benefit, and they pervade everywhere. Right above and below, an innumerable number, right? So in one way we can think of this is about, an overwhelming awe, a display of awe, a supportive awe, a healing awe, a balancing awe. And having perceived that the collected lifespans of the 3,000-fold world system without exception, the three realms of existence of the threefold worldly gods, demons, and humans, especially one's own life force and lifespan that has been wandering about, right? Lost by anxiety, lost by fear, lost by hardship, lost by illness, lost by exhaustion, right? Lost by busyness. Doesn't really matter the cause. What does matter is that which had been dispersed is returning back. Right? It has all been hooked back by the means of the syllable Ni. And we imagine that all of this life force, all of this energy, the five elements, all of this is beginning to dissolve back into you, and that you obtain the city of deathlessness. I'm just going to repeat this mantra 3 more times. So imagine that as I recite this mantra, all of this energy is coming back to you, all of this life force, all of this dissipated dispersal, so to speak, of focus, energy, health, well-being, physical well-being, emotional well-being, spiritual well-being, that this is all coming back. Om Ahong Bazar Guru Sarvaguna Siddhi Hong Om Ahong Svaha Mum Lam Mam Pam Tam Hri Ma Hari Nisa Sita Ring Ring Sarva Siddhi Samaya Za Hung Bam Ho Bazar Ayushe Hung Brum Nri Za Om Ahong Bazar Maha Guru Sarva Guna Siddhi Hung Om Ahung Svaha Mum Lam Mam Pam Tam Hri Ma Hari Nisa Sita Ring Ring Sarva Siddhi Samaya Za Hung Bam Ho Bazar Ayushe Hung Brum Nri Za Om Ahung Bazar Maha Guru Sarva Guna Siddhi Hung Om Ahung Svaha Mum La Mam Bam Tam Hri Ma Hari Nisa Sita Ring Ring Sarva Siddhi Samaya Za Hung Bam Ho Bazar Ayushe Hung Brum Nri Za. So everything is beginning to dissolve back into you, and that you're beginning to obtain the city of deathlessness, right? This power of maximal longevity. And in this longevity, perhaps you can feel it returning in your bones, or feeling it return in your musculature, or feeling it return into your internal organs, or feeling it return even into your emotional body, right? With respect to resilience, right? Or your spiritual body, the sense of being empowered, settled, more able to rest into natural being. And as I wave this datar arrow, and we imagine that this Hung syllable, which is the condensed glory of the supreme speech of all of the conqueror Buddhas of the 3 times, begins to magnetize all of the activities of Hayagriva and Vajravarahi in union. So Father Hayagriva and Mother Vajravarahi in ecstatic union. The emanations and secondary emanations and their retinue come forth into the space wherever you find yourself. And as these emanations, these retinue beings, including Hayagriva and Vajravarahi, they perform the activities of hooking back the life force known as La, and the lifespan known as Tse, from the sky above and the earth underneath. And as all of this is being hooked back, this simultaneously also crushes to dust the demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. So basically, all of the causes and conditions that lead to the dispersal of our health are magnetized back. They're coming back. Right? The life force, lifespan, etc. And as this happens, these emissaries assist in chopping to pieces the heads of the gods and demons who cut the vital life force, who cut the red life channels of the executioner spirits, who take away the breath. Imagining that right now, Hayagriva and Vajravarahi and their retinue are hooking back now all of the wandering life force and lifespan for everyone gathered here and anybody watching this recording, coming back. And take time to allow yourself to visualize all of the law returning back to your body, right? The life force and the lifespan that say, returning back. You can feel it dissolving into your heart center if that feels good, or into your brow, or the entirety of your body all at one time. Physical body, emotional body, spiritual body, but also into your bones and your muscles, into all the fluids in your body, your blood, your lymph, synaptic fluids, tears, bile, etc. Into your hair follicles, your eyes, your nose, your teeth, your mouth, your ears, restoring all of your senses. Take time to really have this felt sense that all of the law, all of the life force, and all of the lifespan is being hooked back. All of that which seems to be naturally dissipated from the experience of life itself, it's being restored. This is a restorative practice. Included in this, of course, is the elements. And so that we invite the Vajra dakinis. And they come from the eastern and southeastern direction. Imagining that these blue dakinis who hold iron hooks in one hand and dark blue vases in the other hand come forth at this time along with their emanations and secondary emanations and their retinues, all of whom conduct these pacifying actions. We ask that they fulfill their pledge, understanding fully that they've made a commitment to be here for us. With their iron hooks and blue vases, we ask them to come to hook back the lifespan from the eastern direction and the southeastern direction. And if you're in a space where you're aware of the layout of the different directions, imagine that from the east and southeast, these blue Vajra dakinis are coming, right? Completely filling the space where you are, flying through the air, perhaps rising up from the earth, coming down from the sky. Right? They crush to dust all of the demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. They chop to pieces the heads of the worldly gods and demons who cut the vital life force. They hook back now the wandering life force and lifespan of everyone here. They cut the red life channels of the executioner spirits who take away breath. They're here to restore. Right? And they do this, though, with pacifying actions. So this soft, gentle, nurturing, supportive pacification energy. And feel this energy of pacification, blue light of pacification, circulating throughout your body. And let yourself feel very intuitively around where all of this needs to go. Let it settle directly. Let it happen organically. All of these Vajra dakinis completely overwhelming the space, completely attending to your needs, hooking back the law and let's say, removing obstacles created by gods and demons, also removing obstacles created by negative emotional states, circular thinking, right? This kind of repetitive, intrusive thinking. Right? That the pacifying action, pacifying energy of the Vajra dakini settles deeply within you. And rest into this experience of this pacification energy, helping to restore your body to its original karmic state. Then imagine that the Ratna dakinis or jewel dakinis begin to come. And they come from the south and southwestern directions. And they're yellow in color, holding iron hooks in one hand and golden vases in the next. And they come forth at this time with all of their emanations, secondary emanations, and their retinues who conduct all increasing actions, all activities of increase. And that they show up to fulfill the pledges that they made. This is the basic call and response. Ratna dakini, please come. You made a promise. Please come. Hook back the lifespan from the southern and southwestern directions. Crush to dust the demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. And in this nurturing, generative, increasing activity, right? This energy of increase. Right? And let this yellow energy, this experience of the Ratna dakinis begin to fill you completely, right? Increasing all of the qualities that you need, increasing peace, increasing rest, increasing tranquility, increasing resilience, increasing healing, of course, increasing lifespan, increasing all of the qualities that bring benefit to you. Right? And this is about you. So feel into how this experience of the benefit of the energies of increase from the Ratna dakinis really resonate with your being. Really feel into your being, your physicality, and more than that, with your physical body, emotional body, spiritual body, etc. Right? And as these dakinis come with iron hooks in one hand and golden vases in the other, recognizing that they're completely eliminating any kind of demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. They're chopping to pieces the heads of all of the worldly gods and demons who have made it their career, so to speak, of cutting the vital life force. That all of these yellow Ratna dakinis are cutting the red life channels of the executioner spirits who take away the breath. And that they're hooking back now the wandering life force and lifespan of everyone gathered here, everyone watching this recording in the future. And really feel into this and imagine in the space where you are that there's just an overwhelming number of these yellow Ratna dakinis right there. Perhaps even just beginning to melt into you. And as they do, they're bringing all of these qualities associated with the energy of increase. And then calling to mind the Pema dakinis, or the lotus dakinis, who hold iron hooks in one hand and copper vases in the other. And these Pema dakinis are red in color. And they come forth at this time with all of their emanations, secondary emanations, and their retinues conduct controlling actions, right? So a little more force, right? Guidance, as if channeling energy to where it needs to be. And of course, they come to fulfill their pledges, right? They have made the commitment to be here for us. We, in our need, right, in our highly fallible state, are just asking them to come, bring us benefit, come, fulfill your pledge. Apply this energy of controlling, right? Hook back the lifespan and life force, the La and Se, from the western and northwestern directions. And again, take some time to orient to the directions, right? And really imagine that these red dakinis with iron hooks in one hand and copper vases in the other come from the west and northwest, and they crush into dust all of the demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. They chop into pieces the heads of all of the worldly gods and demons who cut the vital life force. They cut the red life channels of the executioner spirits who take away the breath. They hook back all of the wandering life force and lifespan, the La and Se, for everybody here. And imagine that they're like billowing clouds where you are, dissolving right into you, right? And this controlling energy it's almost like a spiritual CAT scan, right? It's going where it needs to go. It's seeing where help needs to be, be oriented, where the benefit needs to be spread or accrued. Of course, physical body, emotional body, spiritual body, but it's your body. So feel into what it is that you need the assistance of these Pema dakinis, these Pema chondros, right? So they bring a little bit more directed energy. Where do you need directed energy in your body? Where do you need this directed energy in your emotional state? Where do you need this directed energy in your spiritual state? And these dakinis are ultimately motivated by intense compassion. And so with this form of controlling energy, this is controlling, rooted in compassion. Asking them to hook back all of the wandering life force and lifespan. And then the lay chondro, or the action dakinis, right? These are the karma dakinis. They hold iron hooks in one hand and turquoise vases in the other. And these lay chondro, or action dakinis, karma dakinis, are green in color. And they come forth at this time along with all of their emanations, their secondary emanations, their retinues, all of whom conduct wrathful activity. And did they come to fulfill their pledge? They bring a little extra force, because sometimes force is necessary. Imagine that with their wrathful actions, they're really able to hook back the lifespan, this time from the northern and northeastern directions. They crush to dust, right, with great power, great ease as well, all of the demonic emissaries of the Lord of Death. They chop to pieces with ease, with grace even. They chop to pieces the heads of all the devas, the samsaric devas and demigods and demons who cut the vital life force. They cut the red life channels of all of the executioner spirits who take away the breath. Right? These spirits kind of are like lampreys, right? They just hold on to us like vampires, suck our energy. Right? These karma dakinis, these lay chondros are there just completely ridding us of the insidious life-draining impact of these kinds of devas, these kinds of demons, demigods. Cutting the red life channels of all the executioner spirits who take away the breath. I'm really feeling into the karma dakinis, these green karma dakinis coming from the north and northeastern directions, hooking back all of the wandering life force, hooking back the entirety of the lifespan that has been lost by everyone gathered here and anybody watching the recording. You can really feel into, in your own way, as per your own experience, the experience of your body, physical body, emotional body, spiritual body, how these karma dakinis should show up from the north and northeastern directions, bringing the wrath, bringing that energy. And sometimes this just takes the form of very intentional boundaries. Sometimes it takes the form of powerful cleaning, cleansing. Sometimes it takes the form, of course, of very intense energy. And sometimes this intense energy is the right medicine for practitioners like us. I can imagine that all of these karma dakinis begin to fill the space where you are, completely filling the room. And as they dissolve into you, they restore all of the la netse. They remove all obstacles that lead to illness. Remove all obstacles that lead to an early death or to dullness, to agitation, to brittleness. Really feel into this. And then imagine this rain of all of the dakinis. Vajra dakinis are blue in color. The Ratna dakinis, yellow in color. The Pema dakinis, red in color. Karma dakinis, green in color. And that they're all descending now. All dissolving into you. And as they dissolve, they bring all of the qualities. They bring peacefulness. They bring increase. They bring controlling energy. They bring wrathful energy. But they also bring all of the healing, restorative energy of the element of the earth. Right? Solidity, gravity, etc. And all of the energy of the element of water. Increased fluidity and movement. They also bring the pure energy of the element of fire, heat, warmth, maybe digestive heat, energy, right, associated with the element of fire. And then they also bring all of the benefit of the element of air. This kind of mercurial connectivity associated with the element of air, this fluidity and flow. And they also bring, through the Buddha Dakini, the element of space, right? Consciousness itself, the ability to rest into vast, open awareness. our Buddha nature, Sujata Garbha, the nature of Mahamudra, the nature of Hatha Yoga. So as all of these dakinis, right, so in addition to the Vajra dakinis, all the Vajra dakinis are blue, dissolving into you, right, removing all obstacles to La and Se. And then all of the yellow Ratna dakinis, all of the red Pema dakinis, all of the green Karma dakinis, but then these white Buddha dakinis coming, dissolving, dissolving, dissolving. And as you experience, allow yourself to open up to this harmonization with the 5 elements. Sometimes there's nothing more to do than just open up and feel. And we don't need to guide them. We can let the dakinis come and do the work for us. To think that we need to control the situation is to rob them of the commitment that they have made to us. And so for us to be able to sit back and let these dakinis help us by showing up gently and sometimes showing up forcefully to offer us the medicine that we need, to offer us the balance that we need, perhaps the receptivity that brings benefit. Sometimes the forcefulness we need to learn how to embody, whatever it is. Let yourself, let these dakinis and the retinue of Hayagriva and Vajravrahi continue to do the work of dissolving into your body. And like master surgeons, removing the impediments created by all of the devas, these samsaric devas and demigods and demons who cut the vital life force. Let these dakinis on their own, they're enlightened beings, remove the demonic, problematic, samsaric work that has been done by the emissaries of the Lord of Death. And as you do this, also allow them to be able to help enrich you, bringing what is needed for your physical body, your physical health, your emotional body, your emotional health, and of course your spiritual body and spiritual health. Let these dakinis help guide you into an experience of deep harmony. And as you experience this deep harmony, let it lead to a profound sense of rest. Letting yourself rest in a profound way, maybe even resting in a way that we are not easily habituated to these days. Let your body be supported by whatever you're sitting or laying on, and allow yourself to release into the harmony and flow of pure being, knowing that these dakinis, the Vajra dakinis, the Ratna dakinis, the Pema dakinis, the Karma dakinis, and the Buddha dakinis, all led by Father Hayagriva and Mother Vajravrahi, are here in everything that you do. Every breath, every thought, every physical movement, every movement of thought, every movement of emotion. right? That these 5 dakinis and the 5 elements are present in everything. Sometimes all we need to do is open up to the awareness of them. In this little click of connectivity becomes very natural. And so in this moment, for the next few minutes, based on who you are, based on what you need, based on what your body needs, based on what your emotional body or spiritual body might need, open up to these dakinis, Hayagriva and Vajra, and let them help you do this work. As you rest into this, allow yourself the opportunity to open up to the possibility that these 5 dakinis are truly here to be able to remove any impediment, lifespan, or life force, to help regather, reorient, rebalance, reharmonize our relationship with the elements. And just listen to what is coming up for you. Listen to what you need. And just go with that. Listen to the wisdom that is your being. It's not the wisdom that anybody else tells you you have. It's the wisdom that has always been there. It's not the wisdom that clergy controls. It's the wisdom that has been innate to your experience of life for as long as you can remember. Perhaps even longer than that. As you rest into this harmony, rest into your fundamental perfection. And as you rest into your fundamental perfection, rest into ease and relaxation. In this moment, I will offer a very brief dedication and just stay where you are. Stay in this receptive place. Just hear the sounds, but keep going in your process. By this merit, may we quickly achieve the natural state of Hayagriva and Vajra, and through a harmonious relationship with Vajra dakinis, the Ratna dakinis, the Pema dakinis, the Karma dakinis, the Buddha dakinis, and likewise the elements of earth, air, water, fire, and space. May we rest into a deep, profound ease, spacious healing, and a return to our natural state, both physical, emotional, and spiritual. And may all beings, every type of being, even beings we don't have the capacity to fully conceive of, may all beings in all aspects of what it means to be, including plants, trees, the water, earth, rocks, magma, the stars, planets, the air, black holes, may all expressions of being rest into natural harmony, balance. And may this cause all beings to become awakened. Of course, may we become awakened so that we can do this work. But more than anything else, try and allow yourself to relax. And as I sign off in a moment, just keep going with this. Right? Don't jump into the next thing. Don't respond to emails. Don't get on the phone. Don't turn on the TV. Don't blah, 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 blah. Just care for yourself. Do what you need to do. So, thank you all for being here. Take very good care of yourselves, everybody, and really let yourself restore, restore, restore. And pain, it is so lovely to see you, even though I can't see you. Take very good care, everybody. Be well. Sending love. Bye-bye.